The entire AC Shadow situation somehow just got even crazier. The other day, we were talking about allegations against Associate Professor Lockley, who is seemingly now disgraced for spreading misinfo about Yasuke, and then even using that misinfo and his ties with Ubisoft to promote a book that he wrote. That's an oversimplification, so consider watching the prior video if you missed it. But the point is, stuff was already getting crazy, and as mentioned, the situation just proliferated even more. Because another apparent Japanese historian has come out making similar claims that Lockley made, specifically claiming that Yasuke was indeed a samurai. The guy making these claims going by Kei Hirayama or Yu Hirayama, and many people on social media and even some news publications are now also claiming that Yasuke was a samurai and citing Yu Hirayama as evidence for their claims. Now, once again, if you want my opinion on Yasuke, then consider watching my prior video, because I don't want to waste time repeating what I said in that one here. So, getting right back to the news. As expected, people on the internet have started looking into Yu Hirayama's background, curious about his credibility, this including people in Japan and elsewhere. Learning the Law would post that Hirayama has ties to the Japanese Communist Party and that another Tokyo professor, Okada, admits that Lockley's books are fiction. Going on to say that Okada is now doing damage control and that Japanese people are shocked by how these ideologues and pseudo-historians want to change history. Also including an image where Hirayama talks about his history with the Japanese Communist Party. And regarding Okada, who was defending Hirayama, we can see another Japanese user disputing their claims and saying that Okada has ties with Lockley through their husband, as well as a connection with him through a book that they published. On a similar note, another user here points out the very convenient timing that these people are suddenly speaking on the Yasuke issue. The convenient timing, likely referencing how Lockley has recently been criticized for spreading misinfo, as well as Lockley's apparent actions of going into hiding. Considering that Lockley's work has been a key piece of evidence that these people tend to use, and with that work losing its credibility, it seems that those with similar goals as Lockley are becoming extremely desperate to spin a very specific narrative. Yet another Japanese user, SWSM, posts about Okada, where Okada apparently admits that Rockley was spreading fake history, but goes on to justify it by saying that Rockley caused new fans of history. SWSM, then lamenting the damage that this causes to historiography. Going back to Learning the Law, he'd also post about how another Japanese historian and a friend of Hirayama also went on to admit that the claims about Yasuke being a samurai are purely speculative. But what about Hirayama himself? Well, apparently he would also go on to eventually admit that those claims about Yasuke are only speculation, that he wants to believe it, but that it lacks evidence. Ultimately, it seems like people were trying very hard to definitively make claims about Yasuke, only to be refuted by more people in Japan and overseas, this eventually causing them to capitulate their claims. I know this may have been confusing to follow along, especially because many of the posts we read are in Japanese, but hopefully I did at least a decent job of breaking this down while getting right to the point in doing so. And I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think about this crazy situation in the comments, and as always, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed my coverage, consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.